All right, Free Radicals, welcome back. My name is Dave, and I'm the Radical Independent. Thanks for watching. Thanks for staying subscribed. Of course, much like Wall Street, I'm taking a huge hit because of recent events, including Tulsi Gabbard's departure from the campaign. She was my candidate for president. She is no longer my candidate for president because she is no longer running for president, and her name will not appear on the ballot in November as a choice. I'm being told to write Tulsi Gabbard's name in. I have no interest in doing that. She has basically said that Joe Biden is an acceptable candidate, and the line, of course, is we have to beat Trump at all costs, even if we put in someone who is completely incoherent, which I think is irresponsible. It's completely irresponsible. And it makes me wonder if somebody tapped her on the shoulder and said, you need to get out. And we'll make sure that you have a safe landing place in a new administration. Because, again, she's not running for Congress. All right. And this is the mind-blowing stuff that I keep encountering. And people who I really respect and like on Twitter who gave like all of their support to this woman, who are now being harassed by these trolls. And a lot of them don't live here in the United States. And a lot of them, I hate to say it, fit a certain stereotype because they get emails from people saying that I'm uninspiring and so forth. And I look at who it is and I make a judgment. All right. First of all, if I'm a little bit worried, uninspired, or whatever right now, we are in the midst of a global pandemic, and my wife works in the healthcare industry. I know you don't care, because I've been also told that this is all about me because I'm upset that the campaign didn't reach out to me and so forth. At this point, I could give a crap because I don't, back in those days, yeah. And I, again, make that statement a couple of times. And I made it while the campaign was in full swing. So it's not like sour grapes. I just thought, again, a virtual shout out, whatever. That's all I was looking for. Nice job. Keep up the good work. Yada, yada, yada. Didn't hear a thing. So for those of you who are harping on that point about this channel and so forth, I just don't want to engage anymore. I'm done. Jimmy Dore yesterday, by the way, this is the guy who inspired me to do the channel. He inspired me because he's passionate, he yells, he rants. His style is going to be different than mine. I can't yell and rant, so if that's uninspiring, there are occasional moments, I'm trying to kick the vodka, but, during this pandemic, they say, vodka is good, just it kills a lot of stuff. And so that's why they use it for hand sanitizer. And it's true. I'm not saying it's a cure, but it will certainly kill the virus, and that's why they're using it in those commercial applications. In any event, I was inspired by Jimmy Dore. Yesterday, he did probably one of his most epic rants, talking about Bernie. Feckless Sanders campaign finally listens to Jimmy Dore. And I don't think anybody's really listening to us. I'd like to think that maybe Sanders listened to Jimmy Dore here. But I don't think any of these people are listening to us. I just don't. Who's listening to people more is Donald Trump. It doesn't mean I like Trump, but his followers, the people who love Trump, are loving him more and more each day. And the people who are kind of neutral on Trump are starting to move in his direction as well. The Democratic Party is finished. It's got to be finished after this. And I may be wrong because we said in 2016 it was probably finished. It's not finished. They just keep, and this, so-called progressive wing, the squad and so forth, they're they're sheep herding more progressive and younger people into the party, and then they start to bend. AOC is a joke. She's a celebrity. She's just a joke. I'm hoping that she gets beat. If she gets primaried, she gets beat but I've noticed that might be her tactic, is now to be a little bit more palatable and mainstream and get along with your typical New York Democrat and so forth. That might be why she's just abandoning her principles. And Bernie made a bad error by using her in his campaign, thinking, oh yeah, she's so popular. She's not, Bernie. She's really not. And Tulsi Gabbard, as we know, didn't travel in those circles. She just was her own sphere. And as much as I love the independent streak, I think you need to... She talks about building coalitions with other people and so forth, and I don't know, the toffee thing, and in the end, it's all weak. It doesn't seem strong to me. It seems weak. If you're anti-war, then you're embarrassed. You're embarrassed what we're doing right now in Iran. You're embarrassed at the things going on in Venezuela, in Yemen. I mean, all of these countries where there is war and famine, there is now disease, war, and famine. So the United States is fine. We're fine with making these problems worse. We can't have humanitarian efforts in these places because technically we're not really that upset that these people are contracting the virus, and we don't care because it's like another sanction. So I'm kind of all over the place in this video. I'm sorry if I'm not super inspirational. I'm not sure what people want me to say at this point other than the two-party system is broken. It's broken beyond repair. And I was saying this about 6 months into the campaign, and people just wanted me, Tulsi, go. It's a cult of personality. If you can't separate the person from these ideas, if you can't say, like a guy, again, not my favorite guy, but like a Howie Hawkins guy or a Dario Hunter, who I really think would be a great stepping stone from Tulsi to Dario. Because if you really want these beliefs and you believe in the principles, like the actual issues, if you believe in those issues, then to me it's a no-brainer. But there are a lot of people who just are like, oh, well, Tulsi is coming back in 2024. Okay, by then our country, it will be full banana republic. Well, a third party can't win. No, but a third party needs to have a chance to win. It needs to give people hope. We need an alternative. And you just never know politically what's going to happen. If Joe Biden can't make it, a lot of people are speculating, can he even debate Donald Trump? He can't. I don't think he can. I think it's going to be a train wreck. And that's the thing. They're going to have to send him up there. And Trump's going to annihilate him. This is the thing. People think that Trump is a buffoon and this and that. Trump was really good during the debates. He has a way of sort of being blunt and diffusing, and yeah, he talks in that Trump speak that only Trump supporters can decipher. But guess what? It's effective enough, and because he stands up to things, and that's why he ends up winning in a lot of different ways. And we need somebody who will fight. That's why Jimmy Dore's in this video saying that nobody's willing to fight. Bernie's not willing to fight. Tulsi didn't fight. And if you're going to tell me, oh, Tulsi's in Congress right now fighting. Tulsi voted for the corporate bailout. She did. She voted for it. Thomas Massie was the most courageous person during this entire episode where, or maybe this gives everybody cover. And this is why he came out and said they basically did a voice vote. So nobody has to be on record. And I'm sure they did that on purpose because both the left and the right in some ways will beat up on their representatives for voting for this mess in a couple of years when we find out the damage that it will likely do And yes, the corporations will be fine, and that's the whole point. We've got nobody who's really fighting for us. And that's why you have to take drastic measures. Put on the yellow vest. Put on the yellow vest. I mean, I'm not saying you got to go out into the streets. Maybe you do. You need to strike. You need to protest. You need to do all of these things. In your own life, you need to reorder things, reorganize. Think about, is this two-party system working? And how do I get involved in an alternative party? Green Party, Libertarian Party. I keep telling people it's the way forward, and so few people are listening. So few people are stuck in the cult of personality. Yeah, she was a great candidate, or at least I thought she was. She's got a nice personality. She seems very affable and a decent human being. All right, but at the end of the day, it was like smoke and mirrors for me. So I wish I had. I'm not going to pile on, but again, people are sending me emails where they should be sending me PayPal donations, and nobody's doing that anymore. And it's not a shocker between the pandemic and the fact that the channel is basically not doing the cheerleading every day, because there's nothing to cheerlead. There's nothing to cheerlead. I did it for as long as I could. Right now, I'm kind of where Jimmy Dore is, except he expresses himself better, is more caffeinated, and probably has rolled one up and smoked a couple before, or rolled two up and smoked a couple before a show. I don't know. It's really none of my business. I'm glad he's out there because he represents the people who are underserved in this country. And there are very few people on YouTube doing progressive shows who are doing outrage. A lot of them are doing stuff like, hey, Joe Biden's not competent to be the president. Hey, Joe Biden, he definitely was, mean to this woman in 1993. The proof is already there. You might do a video, one or two videos about that, but at a certain point, you've got to address the bigger elephant in the room, and that is the Democratic Party is not going to allow somebody who is truly devoted to the working class. They're not going to allow them to be the president of the United States. They're going to let people who talk a good game get there, but they're not going to let actual things happen. And I understand it's a messy democracy where you've got people on the right who will vote against their own economic interests, who don't understand that a balanced budget or erasing the deficit or debt or whatever, that's not going to have any impact on them. It just isn't, because if you can bail out financial institutions to the tune of trillions of dollars on a daily basis, which I don't comprehend, my mind doesn't wrap around that, then really, if they're doing that, then you're not being served. You are being left out. You're just a cog in their wheel. It's as bad as you think it is. And at a certain point, we all have to stand up and say no more. And that's how you do it. So in any event, that's my video for today. If you have any ideas for videos, if you want me to talk about something that you care about, or sure, send me. You're using the email, so just send me the message. It's davidjspuria@gmx.com. Also for PayPal donations, if you get a stimulus check or whatever and you can't use it for some reason, send it my way. My wife works in the healthcare industry and she's not getting any hazard pay. And yeah, she is on the front lines, and I worry about her every day. This has been a very stressful time for our family, who is pretty much now locked inside, self-quarantined, as a safe-at-home order went out here in Florida yesterday and went into effect last night at midnight. I wonder what our civil liberties are going to look like going forward. You libertarians, you should be all over this and examining what the government is going to do with that in that regard, because that's going to be some scary stuff moving forward, and you can just feel it. You can see it and you can feel it. All right, see you soon. Thanks for watching.